I know a couple of months ago Alex started showing up in the videos here, and I've never really taken the time to introduce him, so today that's what we're going to do. So say hi, Alex.
Hi guys, I'm Alex.
So what made you decide that you wanted to get into this whole boating adventure?
I got into the whole sailing thing through YouTube. I started watching sailing channels like Delos and Vagabonde, and then Vagabonde had a video, I think it's called like 8 tips to living on a sailboat.
So the most common question we get asked is, how can I make this dream of buying a sailboat and living on the ocean affordable? So today we have 8 hot tips to help get you on your way.
And they directed me to findacrew.net, and that's how I found Nick.
So I Find Crew, I got like 800 to 1,000 messages, and Alex is actually the only one who I really took seriously out of that. And I'm going to let him, before I tell you why that is, I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about his background. So Alex, what's your background? Where'd you come from? What'd you do in Michigan when you lived there?
I was going to school at Schoolcraft College. It was a community college for welding, and I was working at a welding job for about a year. I welded together trash cans, trash compactors, serviced them all around the Midwest, and that's what I did for, I don't know, I was doing school and welding for the last like 2 years about.
Any regrets?
No regrets. I'm sitting here on a boat. I haven't driven a car in probably like 4 months now.
What was that job like welding? What did you have to do? What were some of the examples of the work you had to do there?
My job, I welded on trash cans, and what we did is, so like regular dumpsters, I would torch the bottoms off with oxygen acetylene torch and then re-weld new ones on, or we would build new hoppers, gates, funnels for trash compactors, or we would service them, which meant we had to take the hydraulic cylinders out and put new ones in, or put repacked cylinders in, and that meant getting them out, but there's usually a bunch of trash inside, so it wasn't exactly the most fun job. It was a dirty job, but it was pretty fun. It wasn't boring. I did like my job, but once I kind of found out this whole sailing thing, I couldn't wait till I get out here.
That brings me to why it was that I had you come out here, is I could see that doing a dirty job, that you were someone that I could probably teach, knew how to work hard, and just other things like that. I mean, we had a lot in common, the welding stuff there, that type of situation, and just, we seemed to get along really well right from the get-go. Started out with some phone conversations and everything, and then decided that you'd come out for the big Seattle Boat Show, which was a whole lot of fun, and I really enjoyed that time up at the boat show. And then we decided to do this, so you can come out here, and been staying in my pilot berth ever since.
Yeah.
So what do you hope to get out of this trip? I mean, what are your goals out of this? What's for you? What is, like, when this is said and done, what do you hope to have accomplished?
I really hadn't thought too much of that through. To be honest, when I saw this whole thing, I just thought it was really cool to live on a boat and travel around the world. And when I was sitting there after some days of work, where I was at my job till about 10 o'clock at night in the freezing cold, and I got home, finally took a shower and laid down and started watching some YouTube videos, and when I was watching those videos, I kind of realized, there's a little more to life than just to work and die. And so this seemed like, if I could figure out a way to make this like, my life instead of just a thing, I really wasn't looking for it to be like, what was I coming after this? It was more like, how can I make this become a reality, instead of, oh, I'll just do this for a couple of years and then come back, which I really didn't want to do. And so, I mean, yeah, I want to travel around pretty much everywhere except anywhere that's really cold. I hate the snow. Michigan winters are terrible.
I imagine welding on frozen dumpsters in Michigan winters will do that to a guy, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What are your plans for the summer on board? What is it you're really hoping to learn?
Well, right now, I'm really been focusing on just learning how to sail. I've docked the boat twice so far, one time under power and one time under sail, and that was fun. I mean, I've only done it twice so far, but that's, I would say, out of all the parts trying to do something, the most nerve-wracking thing I can think of is trying to put the boat into a slip, which I have not done. We just docked it at a public dock, which is pretty open, but it was still fun. So my goal for this summer pretty much is to learn how to sail, handle the boat really well. I plan to get my scuba diving certification in July coming up, and pretty much just be able to be a person that Nick can count on, so that when we do the long crossing, like over to Hawaii, he can go to sleep while he can handle having somebody up at night on the night watches.
That will be a really handy thing, because I've done enough truck driving to know that I don't want to do sleep deprivation.
Yeah, for a month straight.
That's why single-handed sailing doesn't appeal to me, and it's just I've been on the road and like been out there and like pulled into a truck stop and there's no parking, and then you go to the next truck stop that's 50 miles away and there's no parking, and then you go to the next one that's 100 miles away and there's no parking. Just absolutely hated that. So what do you think of the boat life so far? Is it what you expected?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing. Like, I didn't really know exactly what to expect. I just kind of was going out there, you know. If when I came out here in January and I stayed night in the boat, and you know, it's something I realized I could do. I didn't know like to full extent of how much I would like it, and more or less, you know, if I ended up not liking it, oh well, I flew back. So it was really a risk that I was willing to take, but I have not hated it one bit. I have not missed living in Michigan one bit. Of course, I miss my friends and my family, but other than that, I mean, I've met so many people, I've done so many things in just the last 2 months. It's like unbelievable. I mean, some of the videos that you guys have seen and some of the videos that you will see in the next month, you'll see what I mean. We've had a kind of a crazy couple months, and we really didn't expect half of it, so yeah.
So what about this trip are you looking forward to the most?
I don't know. I was pretty much just looking to try to get more out of life before I'm 60, you know? I don't want to like not be able to do all the fun things that you can do. Like, I can work and I can work for 40 to 80 hours a week and have barely enough energy to want to do anything on the weekend and get maybe 1 or 2 vacations a year. Or I can live every day traveling to a new spot, a new place, a new country, and experience more now before I don't have the energy to do that hike or to surf or to, you know, experience things.
What do you think of the boat?
I love the boat. I love that I can stand up in the boat. I've only been in about 5 boats so far, and only 2 of them I was able to stand straight up in, and 2 of those were Spencer's. So yeah, I really enjoy the boat. There's a lot of space. I got my little cubby hole that I sleep in that has all my stuff. There's perfect amount of room. This thing sails perfectly. Like, we were getting like 3 knots of wind, which I've been on a couple, like the other couple boats that I have been on, we weren't moving at all while we were still going like 1.5 knots, where this boat can just handle anything.
This thing is great. I absolutely love this boat. So tell us about your first week here, because I know that was pretty exciting. You know, you get off the airplane, you meet me, and then what happens?
When I got here, we drove back from the airport, and Nick picked me up, and then we went over to the office at Foss Harbor, and I met up with my buddy Sam for the first time. I met him then, and he invited me to go sailing on his boat that he got for $1. And I was like, all right, who's this guy? he like introduced himself like, hey Alex, long time no see, how you doing, buddy? And I'm just sitting there like, hey, how's it going? What's up, dude? And he was like, I'm gonna need some help. I want to like get my boat out. He hasn't taken his boat out before, so not even 24 hours I was already invited to go sailing. So the next day I woke up, went sailing with him, and it was pretty fun.
And within a couple of days you'd been like on how many different boats?
Yeah, I don't think we even went sailing on this boat till like 5 days after I got here. We took the boat out for the first time. I was sailing on Sam's boat, and I sailed on one of our friends Daryl's boat. I think we went out on his boat for a day, and yeah, it was pretty crazy. I get out here and I instantly start meeting all these people. Met up with our buddy Dave with the motorboat, and yeah, it's just been a crazy 2 months, I would say.
How much boating experiences you had before you came here?
I rode jet skis a lot, and I went on a pontoon boat. And before this, I had never been on near salt water, and I didn't even know sailboats at all. Like, to be honest, I didn't even know people lived on sailboats, so that was all new to me too. And yeah, so I had 0 sailing experience.
So if you were going to talk to someone who was just brand new thinking about coming into this, what would you tell them?
Just go for it. Like, don't listen to anybody telling you not to do it, and don't worry about money and trying to figure out, because like, you'll figure it out. Like, I came out here with just some money in my bank account. I just sold whatever I had. I was kind of lucky I didn't have too many ties to lock me in Michigan. But I would just suggest, like, just go for it, and you'll figure out your way to go. Obviously, you'll need a little bit of money to start to be able to, like, support yourself for food, and I would suggest definitely trying to find a boat that you can crew on. I would not suggest, I took some advice from Gary that you've seen in a couple of our videos now. He said one of the biggest mistakes is people go into boating and buy a boat and don't know how to sail, and then take it horribly and have a terrible accident and then get scared out of it and then leave. I would suggest, like, finding somebody that you can crew on and go on somebody else's boat, learn how to do it, get the experience like I am now, and then if you want to, like, and then see if you like it, because it's not for everybody. I wouldn't say anybody can come out here and do this and not everybody would enjoy this. So I would definitely say try it out first before you, like, make the decision.
And to go with that, Alex is becoming a pretty good sailor. We've been doing a lot of this, been getting a lot of experience. We've been sailing 2-3 days a week pretty steady, so he's been getting a lot of that experience and is really starting to get a handle on the boat. So I'm really happy about that.
I feel pretty comfortable with the boat. I can tack by myself, and I can sit in the boat, and Nick's comfortable now. He'll just go down into the lay down on the couch or something and get some food, and doesn't have to worry about me running into anything, or
I can sit down here and edit video, because before, when I was having to like teach all the time, so I had to be on deck on any passage we made, that was really like killing my time, and I was getting kind of stressed out because I've got to be on deck, or I've got to be down, you know, be right there, and then I've got to edit the videos, so my time was pretty pressed. So now that I can turn it over, like the other day, we were sitting over in dock, and I said, hey, get us off the dock, take us to Tacoma, and he fired it up, got us off the dock, drove all the way to Tacoma, docked the boat for the first time on that trip. Solo trip was totally his deal. I mean, I grabbed the wheel a little bit halfway through, so they didn't have to sit there the whole way, but
yeah,
for the most part, it was entirely his deal. I didn't take any part in the navigation. I just let him get it figured out, which is, you know, a short trip, 8 miles.
Yeah.
But still, that's his first trip out on the boat where he was running it completely by himself, and now we're going to start stretching that out a little bit, and pretty soon, I think within a couple of months here, I think I can have him to the point where you'd be able to take you, you know, I could literally hand the boat to you, say, hey, I'm going to be up in Seattle, meet me up there, and you could figure it out. So I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable. I would say being out in the water, there's like, it's almost no worries whatsoever. When you get closer to like land and things are a bit closer, that's when I start to like, that's when I would get nervous in the beginning, like when you'd be coming out of like Foss or whatever. When you're out in the water, you don't really got to worry too much. Just not hit boats, and that's pretty easy. You just pay attention. Yeah.
So after doing this, do you think you could go back to living life on land?
I don't think so. To be honest, I was thinking about it, you know, if anything ever happened or Nick had to just like stop doing the whole boat thing, instead of going back, I'm pretty sure I would just try to find a boat myself and live on it. You know, kind of living on it and getting to see the numbers and stuff, like, it's actually a lot cheaper than trying to find an apartment and living life on land, and I don't think I could deal with that. Right now I actually feel weird. We'll be living on the boat for so long, and then I go on land and I feel weird. It's like land sickness or something. I don't know.
Just as long as we got enough peanut butter, you're good, right?
Right, peanut butter. I'm not even that into peanut butter.
Peanut butter and fruit snacks.
Fruit snacks, yeah.
I know you guys don't know what
crazy.
we're going off about, but there's a meme that I posted on his Facebook page that was about something. We all know that friend that loves peanut butter or something like that. I don't remember what it says now. I'll pop it up here if I can still find it. But then he was like, oh, I don't even like it that much. So every chance I get now, I'm giving him a bunch of crap about it.
Right.